Well, hello everyone. Welcome to the Bitwarden Secrets Manager demo. Today, you'll be learning how Bitwarden Secrets Manager can help you secure your DevOps, IT, and development pipelines. My name is Casey, and I'll be guiding you through the product today. And if you have any questions throughout today's session, please put them in the chat or in the Q&A panel. I have some lovely colleagues also on the call who will be answering those throughout. So don't be shy to ask questions. So if you're not currently using a secrets manager, chances are your secrets are scattered across different platforms, cloud providers, and maybe even hard-coded into your scripts. This secret sprawl really makes it hard and challenging to collaborate with team members, and even more complicated to rotate these secrets in a secure manner. Hopefully this doesn't sound familiar for many of you, although I have a feeling it does. Hard coding these secrets also really increases the risk of costly data breaches that can impact customer data, company reputation, and software availability. Bitwarden Secrets Manager, luckily, is an end-to-end encrypted solution that empowers development teams to securely store, manage, and automate infrastructure secrets. So these can include database passwords, private encryption keys, authentication certificates, environment variables, and other secrets that are used across development life cycles for machines to communicate with each other. Bitwarden Secrets Manager is easy to use, end-to-end encrypted and open source, and offers unlimited secret storage and user-based pricing. This is kind of in contrast to usage-based pricing that you might see with other solutions. So this user-based pricing really makes the pricing predictable for you and ensures that you can scale quickly. In today's demo, you're going to be seeing just how easy it is to store your secrets and securely inject them into a development workflow with Bitwarden Secrets Manager. Also, we do have a poll running, so if you haven't answered that yet, please do. We'll kind of loop that in, those responses, in later in today's demo. So let's give a really quick taste of how Bitwarden Secrets Manager works in this short video clip. So let's just say I'm a developer who's tasked with making changes to an e-commerce website, specifically the Bitwarden store. And I need to do this without exposing any kind of sensitive data or authentication credentials. So we will be using a secret that authenticates the website into Stripe, which houses that sensitive customer and financial data. And it's really important that when we do this, that secret is not exposed. So if we start this up, you can see that we have an env file where secrets are typically shared with teammates. So instead of storing these secrets in plain text in this env file, we've actually replaced them with secret IDs, which we've pulled from the CLI. So when we start the script, the secrets are automatically retrieved from Bitwarden Secrets Manager and authenticates the website to pull the information from Stripe needed for the store update. So it's just that simple. Great. So today we're going to be setting up a very similar example in Bitwarden Secrets Manager. And so we're going to start by accessing the web application. So this is the Bitwarden web application, and we'll be diving into different aspects of this application today. And this is primarily where we will be working. So for this demo, I will be setting up a Secrets Manager as if I am a developer who needs to launch a banking application. So to do so, we'll need to securely use secrets in the production application to authenticate and use information from other machines, databases, and applications. So by using Bitwarden Secrets Manager, what we're really doing is preventing any kind of hard coding of secrets within the script, and we protect those secrets with end-to-end encryption. In this example today, we'll also be using the Python SDK, but it really goes without saying that Secrets Manager supports many different front-end, back-end, developer, DevOps, and IT use cases outside of the one I am showing here today. Bitwarden also offers many different SDKs for all the common development languages and a wide range of out-of-the-box integrations, which we will be also covering later today. Great. So we are currently looking at the Secrets Manager dashboard in the web application. And this is where you have a nice overview of some of your key secrets and projects. Projects are used to logically group secrets and access controls. For today, we're going to be using the Web Prod project. And we have a variety of secrets stored in this project. So I just clicked into this project and we can see now all of the secrets that are associated with this project. We have in here some database passwords, API keys, and other environment variables. Below each secret is also a universally unique identifier, also called a UUID. This is used to specifically call a specific secret value that is then used in the scripts. So if we think back to that video I showed earlier, we replaced those plain text secrets in the env file with these UUIDs. You can easily copy them from the web application or list them via the Secrets Manager CLI, whichever method really works best for you. Great, and we'll be using these later in today's demo as well. Okay, so let's click into a secret to learn a little bit more about it. So all secrets are critical pieces of information formatted as a key value pair. So you can specify a name and a value up to 25,000 characters. You can also add a note to help you remember the secret's purpose and usage. And again, in contrast to a lot of solutions out there, within Secrets Manager, everything is end-to-end encrypted. So additional sensitive information like notes would be end-to-end encrypted. So you don't need to worry about anything being exposed there. You can also designate which project you would like to add this secret to down below. We are keeping it in the Web Prod project for now. Great. So we see that we have all these secrets already populated within this project, but let's touch on how to start adding secrets to Bitwarden Secrets Manager. There's a couple different ways to do this. The first is really simple. It's by adding it manually via the web application. To do this, simply click New in the top right and select Secret. This will open the dialog box to enter in that new information. So you enter in all that relevant information for the secret and then click Save. So that is probably the most straightforward way, but if you have a lot of secrets that you need to get into Bitwarden Secrets Manager, probably the easiest and quickest way to do this is to import them. This is a really great method for getting your secrets into Bitwarden Secrets Manager, also if you're migrating from another solution. To import your secrets, simply click Settings and then Import Data. You can see that currently we support JSON files for imports, but we are also planning to support env files as well. So we're just going to choose a file. I already have a JSON file ready to go, and so we can select that. Great. So we actually already have all the secrets that we need for today. So I'm just going to navigate back to the dashboard and that will exit out of this import dialog. But if you wanted to import the data, you would just click this import data button. And the last option for adding secrets to Bitwarden Secrets Manager is via the CLI, which you can download from the Help Center. So Bitwarden really helps you collaborate seamlessly with your development teams while maintaining proper security measures. So let's click into the project that we're working on to see who has access. So we go into that Web Prod project, and then we go over to the People tab on the right. Looks like we have two different people who have access, two different members. right? We've got my colleague, Max, who's also on the call, ready to answer your questions. Max, looks like we actually have a question in the chat asking about how the JSON should be formatted. So I can actually answer that. You can actually export from a Bitwarden vault, and it will give you an example format of what that will look like. And so that's probably the quickest way to make sure that your JSON is formatted correctly. So we have my colleague Max who has access to this project, and then we also have assigned access to this DevOps user group. And I'll be touching a little bit more about user groups later in today's demo. So the whole point of adding people to these projects is ensuring that the right people have the necessary access and permissions. Because this project is for a production environment, we want to add this DevOps team to make sure that they have access. They currently have read and write permissions, so they're able to edit this project. But if we wanted to, we could also give them just can read access as well. If we wanted to add more people, we simply click into this people box and then we select someone to add. So let's say we add my colleague Nasser in the engineering team, and you just click add. If you would like to remove a user or user group from a project, simply click that little X right next to their names and then click save. Great. So we've added secrets to this project and we've added access for human users. So now it's time to add access for machines. To do so, we'll just click into the Machine Accounts tab to the right, and then we can see which machine accounts currently have access. Machine accounts are the method by which secrets stored in Bitwarden Secrets Manager can be programmatically and securely used within development and infrastructure environments. The machines could really be CI/CD pipelines, integrations, servers, infrastructure, and anything that needs programmatic access to these secrets. So we have this machine account titled Local Development that currently has access. It has both read and write permissions. We have given it read and write permissions because engineering teams are updating these values as they add more integrations, and they really want to make sure these machine accounts are appropriately scoped. You can also assign read-only access for these machine accounts, but we're going to keep it as is. So let's learn a little bit more about this machine account. To do so, we'll go to the machine accounts on the left-hand side and click into that, and then click into that machine account that we are just looking at. Great, so now we can see a lot more information, including the list of projects that it has access to. You can see that's the web prod project that we were just in. By clicking on this People's tab, you can see all the users who have access to this machine account, right? Either they can see it or they can edit it, like revoking access and assigning projects. Typically, you want to have multiple DevOps folks on this machine account with read and write permissions so they can manage the machine account and in the event someone's out of office. So this machine account has projects and people associated with it. So it's time to create an access token. So let's navigate to the access token tab. So an access token is used to authenticate into Bitwarden Secrets Manager via the machine account. So think of it as a super secure API token that accesses secrets via end-to-end encryption. So unlike many solutions on the market today, Bitwarden Secrets Manager secures everything stored in your Bitwarden instance with end-to-end encryption to further protect sensitive credentials from malicious actors. So to create an access token, simply click on New Access Token, and then we'll give it a name. We're just going to give it a name that represents today. So this is, what is it, the 27th? Geez, time flies. And then we can give it an expiration date. So this is the date by which the access token will no longer be valid, and any secrets being pulled via this access token will not go through. So let's just set it for a 7-day expiration. Great. Then click New Access Token. So we've created the access token and we will copy it to our clipboard. So after this is saved and I exit out of this dialog, the access token cannot be retrieved again. So you really want to make sure to put it in a secure and safe place. Okay, let's copy that. So there's many different ways to save an access token as an encrypted environment variable for added security. And we have a really great resource on how to do this with Bash if you are interested, which I am going to be putting in the chat right now. So feel free to check that out for a little bit more information on storing an access token securely. We will be actually using this, where is it? There should be, I think it's the local demo. We'll be using that access token that is already set up for our test today. Perfect. So now that we have Bitwarden Secrets Manager set up with our secrets, people, and machine accounts, we need to inject the secret into a script at runtime. So to do so, we'll first need to find the UUID for the secrets we'd like to use. So let's go back to projects, go into our web prod project. And as you remember, these are those UUIDs, and we can just copy them like that. So we can copy them from the web vault, or we can list them via the CLI. You'll also need an access token like the one that we generated earlier. So let's take a look at how this works within our banking application code. So the Bitwarden Secrets Manager Python SDK has been loaded in at the top. And this SDK makes it super simple and easy to inject secrets into a code at deployment. As we scroll down a little bit, here is where we define how to retrieve the access token, which authenticates us into the Bitwarden client. So here you can define a little bit more information about the client, like the device type, the base URL, and the user agent. As we go down a little further, this is specifically, let me highlight that, is our get secrets function, which retrieves the secrets from Secrets Manager. And as we go further down, you can see we have specified specific secrets that we would like to retrieve by using those UUIDs that we saw earlier. Great, so let's launch our application. Right. So it looks like that ran successfully. And so by clicking into this link here, we can see that the application has been loaded into production securely using the secrets stored in Bitwarden Secrets Manager. So this is just one example of how your DevOps and development teams can securely store, deploy, and start retrieving secrets for your software and infrastructure. And you can do this without compromising any kind of sensitive credentials. What's really cool is that Bitwarden Secrets Manager also logs all secret access to ensure security and accountability. So if we navigate back to the web application and we select the machine account that we were working with, right? So local development, and then go over to event logs, we can see time-stamped records of when and how these secrets were accessed. So you can see that we accessed them today using the SDK, and then you can see exactly which secrets were accessed. As you scroll down too, you can see other instances of when these secrets were accessed. You can also integrate these event logs into a SIEM tool, SIEM tool for external reporting. So Bitwarden Secrets Manager also supports multiple native integrations, which you can find in the Integrations tab on the right-hand side. So these include GitHub Actions, GitLab CI/CD, Ansible, and Kubernetes. And we're adding more all the time. Building custom operations and integrations is also incredibly easy for your team with many different SDK languages, including Ruby, JS, C Sharp, and Python, which we just demoed today. By clicking into either one of these integrations or SDKs, you can find really detailed step-by-step instructions for using them in the associated Help Center. The Help Center is also a really great resource for getting started and getting familiar with your Bitwarden Secrets Manager instance in general. If you go to the Quick Start or go to the Get Started tab and then go to Secrets Manager Quick Start, this will help you set up Bitwarden Secrets Manager and ensure that you have all the right access. If you go down to Developer Quick Start, you'll get more information on authenticating into Bitwarden Secrets Manager and retrieving your secrets. Great. Are there any additional questions before we move on to a little bit more about user management within Bitwarden Secrets Manager? I'm not seeing many questions in the chat or in the Q&A panel, so I'm just going to kind of let that be. But remember, feel free to ask questions throughout, and we'll get those answered as I go through today's demo. So I showed you all of these workflows that have been built in Bitwarden Secrets Manager, but these are only really helpful if the right employees have access to Secrets Manager, right? So to grant employee access, we're going to navigate back to the web application and then go to the admin console. You can do this by navigating it down at the bottom or at the top right, whichever one you prefer. This is also where you will be navigating between Secrets Manager and Password Manager if you are also using Password Manager. So really easy to navigate between the two, depending on what you have access to. It looks like a little bit more than half of our attendees today are using Bitwarden Password Manager. So as a reminder, the admin console, which we're going to dive into a little bit more, manages both. So that's the really great thing about using Password Manager and Secrets Manager together is that you can manage all of your users for both applications from one admin console. So setting the same security policies for both programs. So super easy to do. So we're going to go into the admin console here. So this is where you'll be managing everything related to your Bitwarden organization, whether that's users, user groups, billing information, or other things. So let's click into the Members tab. So to add users to the Bitwarden instance, we can accomplish this in a couple of different ways. The first is by simply inviting the user via the Bitwarden UI. To do so, we'll just click Invite Member at the top right and enter the employee's email. Let's just do kcdemo@bitwarden.com. Beautiful, easy peasy. And then below that email, you can designate the member role. So this is associated with general permissions for this user. So for example, we have a user that is set up, so you can access and add items to assign collections, which is very much specific to Password Manager. You can also set up custom permissions depending on what you want this user to be able to do. You might want to have a specific user being able to import and export data, but not want to necessarily be an administrator or owner. So you can set those specific permissions here. Great. For this example, we're just going to do user. And then down below, we'll need to grant access to Secrets Manager for this user. Right, so that's really important if you want this particular user to have access to Secrets Manager. If not, then the user will only have access to Password Manager. Great. So before we click Save, we're actually going to scroll back up to the top and go to Groups. So we're going to add this user to a user groups. If you remember back, we worked with the DevOps user group earlier. So user groups allow you to assign permissions in bulk. So that way employees, when they access Bitwarden, they immediately have the right permissions to only the secrets, projects, and machine accounts that they require for their position. So this really helps you scale efficiently and quickly. So we can select which user group we would like to add this user to. We can choose DevOps. And then when we click save, this user would immediately have access to that project and machine account that DevOps was granted access to. We can exit out. So instead of manually adding users, your organization can also automatically provision or deprovision users, user groups, and group associations in your Bitwarden organization via an identity service like Azure Active Directory or Google Workspace. So this is done by way of the Bitwarden Directory connector or SCIM provisioning. So let's go down to settings to learn a little bit more about that. Great. So SCIM provisioning, this is where you would set up your SCIM connection. Directory connector is set up through a separate application that can be downloaded via the Help Center. So these two provisioning options achieve slightly different results. So I recommend going through the Help Center and choosing the one that makes the most sense for your organization. Yeah, very slightly different results, but they both allow you to automatically provision users and groups into your Bitwarden organization. If you have an existing identity provider, you can also allow your users to authenticate into Bitwarden via SSO or single sign-on. So let's go to that, single sign-on right here under settings. And so what's super cool with login with SSO is that using this feature actually enables you to decrypt the Bitwarden vault with a trusted device, which you can enable right here. And this would be as opposed to a master password. So typically you would authenticate into Bitwarden with your email and master password, but then also decrypt with that master password. So authenticating via single sign-on allows you to have other options for decrypting your vault, like trusted devices. So a really cool kind of option that will bring your organization closer to kind of this passwordless revolution that's happening right now. If you decide to use login with SSO for your users, you can also require that all employees log in with SSO via enterprise policies, which you can access under settings and then policies. So let's go into the specific policy requiring single sign-on authentication. So by turning this on, we would require that all of our employees log in with SSO via this enterprise policy for added security. Right, so we just turn this on and select save. There's a couple other policies I wanted to highlight here as well that could be beneficial for your organization. Let's go into master password requirements. So master password requirements sets expectations on how strong your employee's master password is. So master passwords are kind of the keys to the kingdom, if you will, right? So they typically encrypt your Bitwarden vault. So the strength of the password really determines the strength of the security of the secrets stored within your Bitwarden organization. So a strong master password is incredibly important. So with this policy, you can turn it on, and then you can set a minimum complexity score for those master passwords and a minimum length. Great. You can also add specific characters that will need to be required for these master passwords. I recommend turning this on before you invite users, so that way people will have to set up, a master password that meets these requirements immediately. But if you turn this on later, you can also require that existing members change their passwords if it does not meet these requirements. Another important policy to be familiar with is account recovery administration. So by turning this on, all users will be required to self-enroll into an account recovery program in the event that they lose their master password or trusted device. So this is definitely something that you want to have in place before your users lose their password, because trust me, it will happen. And we want to make sure that it's easy as possible for administrators and owners to recover that account for your employees. So we actually had a question in the chat. Do you need a secret seat for each person in the organization, or just the admin, owners, and DevOps team? And looks like Max actually already answered this. Thank you, Max. So it's only for the users that need access, right? So you could have 100 password manager seats, and then only one secrets manager seat. So it really only makes sense. I mean, you could really set up the different seats and licenses for whatever you need for the particular products. So typically people will have more licenses for password manager because you might want to roll that out to the entire organization, whereas only a select few developers need access to secrets manager. So this actually brings us to the end of today's session. The next step to learn a little bit more about Bitwarden Secrets Manager would be going to bitwarden.com/secrets and then signing up for your own trial, right? So you can start playing around with everything that I showed in today's demo and start importing your secrets, seeing how it works for your organization. And so we do a 7-day free trial, so no consequences of trying it out for your organization. So definitely recommend checking that out. And as I mentioned earlier, Bitwarden Password Manager and Secrets Manager work really well together, right? So they're both end-to-end encrypted, and you can manage all the users, all the policies, all those settings from the same admin console. So really easy to deploy together. Yeah, and so you can learn more about Bitwarden Password Manager if you're not using it at just bitwarden.com. But thank you everyone for joining. This was a really lovely session. Love hearing all those questions. Yeah, please reach out if you have any more, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.